Hello everybody and welcome to this Train Sim World free video, and we've got some new locos to play with. If this happens to be the first video you've seen by me, then my name's Richard and I'm a former passenger train driver and current freight train driver based in the southeast of England. I'm also a father to 4 wonderful children, which is where the Dabrowell name comes from. Before we jump into the video, guys, I have got to tell you that all the views and opinions expressed within this video are solely my own, may not reflect those of any companies I may be employed by or associated with. And furthermore, Dovetail Games have given me this key completely free of charge, but like I say, all the opinions are my own, so if I don't like something, I will tell you I don't like it. Likewise, if I do like something, I'll tell you that as well. So, without further ado, let's jump straight in to Train Sim World Free. I didn't think it was going to work then. Looking for a game to capture, it's never good. So as you can see, guys, we've got a couple of new trains. We have got Rail Operations Group ROG Class 37. We have also got the ICE trains there in the new Pride livery, and the BNSF SD70 Ace, which is the American loco. So in this video I'm going to be looking at the Class 37, the Rail Operations Group Class 37, mainly because I'm more into the UK stuff, as you well know. So let's click on that, and we've got the 37-7 Southeastern High Speed. Into Southeastern High Speed, and as you can see we've got 10, I think that's 10 new timetable services there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fantastic. And these services run dependent on the month that you're playing. So if you're playing one of the high speed services or the 375 services, you will pass these unit drag, these ROG moves, the ROG 37, but they only run at certain times of the year. So it will depend on what time of the year you're playing as to whether you see them or not. So without further ado, let's jump straight into one of these. We will jump into 5 X-Ray 47 Tunbridge West Yard to Slade Green Depot. Here we are, 5 X-Ray 47 Tunbridge West Yard to Slade Green Depot. Class 37-7, 280 tonnes, 5 carriages, and we are 109.1 yards. And we're operating this service from Strood to Dartford. So let's get started. So we're currently sitting on the Medway Valley branch, just coming into Strood, and yeah, she looks very nice indeed, even if I do say so myself. So on the front of the loco there you can see the Dellner coupling. That's this thing here. It's in the down position, and the Dellner coupling is what they use to adapt the loco coupling, the standard screw coupling, to a unit coupling, so you can hook the unit up. So if we slide down to the back, we can see there that the locomotive is connected to the 375 via the Dellner coupling, or the adapter coupling on there. There's a couple of extra things I want to talk about with the adapter coupling, but we'll get the train moving and we'll talk about those as we go along. You can see here we're towing 375-907, which is one of the blue 375s. However, this pack does also include the original white livery 375s, which is quite nice to see as well. So if we jump straight into the cab of our 37, you can see that the cab's had a little bit of an overhaul as well. We've got some additional equipment up here. We've got a GSMR radio. And it just looks a lot tidier and a lot nicer. But I'll kind of talk through the features on this and what this does as we go along. So, first thing we're going to do is get the safety systems in, because that's how I like to roll. So, isolate the OWS. Turn it on, and we're also going to put the TPWS round to the normal position as well. Back in the seat. Key on. Into engine only. Cancel our AWS. I'm going to put the loco brake on full and recharge the main brake pipe. Oh, come on, come on. Release overcharge. Got a red at the moment, just waiting for that signal to change. There we go, 1 yellow, position 1 route indicator. Into forward. Give it a little bit of power. And release the loco brake. Let's get a bit of a flyby shot. We'll give it a little bit of thrash as well. Oh, look at the clag. Yeah, the clag is nice. I'm liking the clag. And red's on the back of the unit. Okay, so I should be able to, in theory, do this HUDless, because this is one of the routes that I do actually drive in real life. So let's see how we get on. Last signal was 1 yellow. We're going to take the train all the way down to Dartford, guys, which is about 25 minutes. And I'll give you my thoughts on the loco and the pack as we go along. So, like I say, I'm looking mainly at the Class 37 ROG with the 375 pack for the unit drags. You can pick this up for around about £10, I believe it is, on Steam. Like I say, it does have 10 services to it. I believe a couple of scenarios as well, although I haven't checked the scenarios. And from my understanding is there's also some plans to overlay this on the Northern Transpennine, so you're going to be able to do some stuff up there as well in the future. We are red ahead. I believe you can pick up the complete loco pack with the American one and the ICE Pride liveried. I believe it's £20 for the complete pack or £10 for the southeastern one on its own. Effectively, we do already have the traction in the game. We already have 37s, we already have 375s. So you are getting a re-liveried version of both and kind of a souped up 37. But it does add those extra 10 services, and it is another layer to the game, which is always very welcome. We are red ahead. Let's get it stopped in the platform and we will jump outside and have a look around. So, stop the loco, going to release the brake. I'm going to apply the loco brake full, which is like our holding brake, and release the train brake. Let's go and have a little look around at this thing. We could put some headlights on. That would probably be advisable. So there we go, 37800. She's a Rail Operations Group 37. And she looks gorgeous. She looks absolutely gorgeous in my opinion. Right, we've got the signal, let's go. Let's have a flyby shot as we leave, shall we? I don't know what the keyboard command is to release the straight air brake. So we'll do that first. Here we go. And we're just 15 miles an hour at the station there. Round the corner into Strood Tunnel. So you can see on the left there we've got a differential speed board. Generally speaking, the lower speed would apply to freight trains and the higher to passenger, and we're kind of a hybrid here. So I had to ask the question to a friend of mine, Dizzy, if you're watching the video, thank you very much, and Callum as well for providing me with the information. When you're operating a train like this, so a unit drag, providing all the brakes are working throughout the unit, you would be following the higher speeds. We are a Class 5 train, which is an empty coaching stock train, therefore we don't follow the lower differentials. We can follow the higher differential speeds, which is fantastic. So we're up to 70. Whilst that's accelerating and we're in the tunnel, which is quite frankly pretty boring, let's have a little look around the cab of what we can see around the cab anyway. So we've got windscreen wipers. You can now just about see that moving there. You can now play with the windscreen wipers there, which is quite nice. These are actually very useful in real life. We have them on the Class 73s that I drive, and the air feed to the wipers, they sometimes jam up, so having the ability to kind of manually do it is really useful. What you're also going to see over here is the GSMR. I would like to have seen that functional, but after the Class 323 that was released, I've wanted to see that functional on every single train. So that is you know, something I would really like to see. But unfortunately, it's not. But never mind. It doesn't add a great deal to the game, the fact that it is functional. But it's quite nice just to set that up and go through that standard setup procedure. I have got all my brakes off, and I'm going to put my HUD up. Yes, I have got all my brakes off. There we go. So the equipment you can see up here is what's known as the brake translation equipment. So a little bit of a technical lesson on the operation of trains. So when you have a locomotive, in its basic principle. When you have a locomotive with a freight train or a set of... Oh, look at the glare on the nose there as we come out the tunnel and go back in. Not so much going back in, but the glare coming out was lovely. Yeah, when you have a freight train with wagons on it, essentially the brakes on the wagons are controlled by what's known as a brake pipe. You couple the wagons up, then you have a brake pipe, which has normally got a red knuckle on the end of the pipe, so you join the two pipes together. In order to release the brakes on the wagons, you have to positively charge the brake pipe on the brake pipe to 5 bar of pressure. So when that brake pipe throughout the entire train has got 5 bar of pressure in it, all the brakes on the train are completely released. When you apply the brake, you're reducing that brake pressure. So you're reducing it from 5 bar down to 3.5 bar would be full service, 4 bar would be like your step 2 braking, 4.5 would be like your step 1 braking. So you're reducing that brake pipe pressure as you go along. Now, on a multiple unit, like the 375 that we see here, they don't rely on a brake pipe throughout the train in order to control the brakes. Instead, the brakes are individually controlled by electronic solenoids. So when the driver, we are speeding, we should be 70 along here, let's just shut the power back. When the driver presses the brake controller on a class 375, it basically tells the computer to electronically open up the solenoids, the brake valve solenoids, and allow so much pressure into the brake cylinders. The advantage with this system is that when you put the controller into the brake step 1 position, or the brake step 2 position, you instantly get brakes on the entirety of the train. As soon as you put that brake controller into step 1, the brakes will apply on the entirety of the train. Whereas with an air-controlled, like on a freight train, an air-controlled brake system, when you put the brakes on, you've got to wait for that brake pipe pressure to equalise in the whole train, so you'll get brakes on the front of the train before you do on the rear. So they take longer to apply and release. Now, what we've got on here is we basically have a locomotive which uses air brakes, the brake pipe method. Just coming past Hoo Junction now. Let's get a little flyby shot. That's lovely. She does look good. I might have some mods running on the game as well for Hoo Junction there. Yeah, effectively what we have is a locomotive with a brake pipe, traditional air brake pipe, and we have a unit which is relying on the electrical braking. So what we need is what's known as translation equipment, which translates the air supply on the locomotive into an electrical feed on the wagons. And that's what this equipment here is doing. You can see on the equipment here we've got step 1, step 2, and indeed step 3. Now, if I shut my power back for a second, if I put my brake controller into the initial position, you can see there my brake pipe pressure started to drop. And also, step 1 has illuminated on the controller. Now this is telling me that the unit is now providing me with step 1 of braking, the 375. If we put a little bit more braking, if we go over 50% braking, a little bit more, you can now see the unit's gone into step 2 braking. And if we put a little bit more braking, it's gone into step 3 braking, and we can release that fully. So this equipment here is what's known as the brake translation equipment, and it's translating the air supply on the locomotive to an electrical supply for the unit. So sometimes this is done on board the locomotive, as is the case here. In other cases, you might see what are known as translator coaches, which is where you have a locomotive, a coach, a unit, and another coach, and that brake translation from air to electrical is done within the translator unit. But on the locomotive here, it's fitted with the equipment, so it's done within the cab. So we've got a 50 coming up as we approach Gravesend. I'm really liking the sounds on this. Let's check my brakes are fully released there, aren't they? Put my HUD back up, yeah. There we go, 30-50 warning. I'm just looking at the glare on the nose cone here and stuff like that, where it's highly polished. It does look really, really nice. And as I shut the controller back there, you can hear the air rushing. As we've got this 50 coming up. 2 yellows, red is before Gravesend. Yeah, effectively on a class 37, this controller here is air operated. So as we pull the controller open, we're opening an air valve, which is then opening the throttle. So that's why you can hear air rushing in and out of the controller as we go. So we're going to give it a little bit of break to get down for the... we've got a 30 coming up. It would naturally roll back for the 30 because we are on an uphill gradient here. However, the last signal was 2 yellows. We've got 1 yellow there. It's quite a common place to get stopped outside Gravesend, if I'm being completely honest with you. And we got a Javelin class 395 coming the other way. And we should sight our red signal just round the corner. Apologies if you can hear banging. My son's running up and down the stairs. And there's our red signal just ahead. A little bit washed out with the sun there, that red signal, but not too bad. Apologies for the background noise. That's my ring doorbell going off. You can tell this is live. We're not faking it. It's live. So yeah, I'm not very used to the brakes, as you can see there. I'm powering up towards a red signal, which is generally not something you should do if you can help it. Yeah, overcut the braking a little bit. We do have 1 yellow though. Let's give it a little bit of power. We're coming down to 30 mile an hour. Red is at the end of the platform at Gravesend. I've got the fans going around in the roof there as well. Let's see if we can get a flyby shot. Probably not a sensible place to stand if we're being honest, but never mind. Okay, we are going on towards a red. I've got distracted there. I do drive these in real life. Well, not 37s, but I do drive trains in real life, I promise. Getting distracted by the flyby shot, but never mind. So the signal we can see over there is not ours. That's the one coming out of the bay. So you've got what's known as a read across risk here. It'd be quite easy. If that signal was 1 yellow or green or showing a proceed aspect, it'd be quite easy to see that signal and assume it's yours and power up. So that's what's known as a read across risk. Okay, the AWS said clear, so let's get a bit of power in. Let's find a decent camera angle. And we'll open it up. Although we are only going up to 30, we'll open it up. I'm really liking the sounds on that. It does sound really, really nice. Right, we are speeding now because it should have been 30 out of there. Now we can take it up to 70. About another 10 minutes down to Dartford, guys. If you are enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that like button, consider subscribing. As well as the Train Sim content, I also do Roblox content, Train Sim Classic, Train Sim World, Roblox, train driver vlog type videos, days out with Dad Rail where I visit railways and do railway type things like that as well. And coming very, very soon, or it may even be out if you're watching this video a long time after release, is the Train Drivers Rules videos. It's going to be about 50 to 60 short videos explaining train driver rules. So if you want to find out more about those videos and you want to be notified of when they release, don't forget to press the subscribe button and click the notification bell. And don't forget that channel members will get early access to all of those videos. I am liking the clag. The clag is good. Flag is very nice indeed. just coming across what's known as Springhead Road Junction. The line down to our left, of course, takes us onto the high-speed line at Ebbsfleet International. So we're approaching 70, so we'll start winding the power back a little bit. So guys, I'm now going to talk about some of the things on this train which are not accurate. Oh! Ouch, branch to the face. Some of the things on this train which are not accurate. Now, I am being what is known in the trade as a rivet counter here, because I am pointing out things which have absolutely no bearing on the gameplay at all. So, you know, I'm doing it for the sake of honesty, and I'm doing it for the oh, beautiful. Look at the traffic there. Network of 395. I like that. Yeah, I'm doing this for the sake of honesty. And I'm not doing this to criticise the devs in any way, because all the things I'm going to point out don't really have much bearing on gameplay. And unless you're working in the industry, you probably wouldn't notice it, to be completely honest with you. So let's just get the speed down a little bit. Actually, this gives me... Yeah, let's get the speed down a little bit more. As we are on 1 yellow. So you've got a brake step 2 light illuminated there, so we know the unit is doing what it should be doing. And we'll just fully release that and just come around the corner to the red. And then we'll jump outside and I'll show you the couple of things that I've picked up on. Red ahead. Hiding round the corner. Signals are always hiding round corners. Banner repeater says the signal is still on. And generally speaking, we want to be doing no more than 10 miles an hour across the magnet. It depends on your company's operating policy. Some companies will say 20, some will say 15, some will say 10. I'm going with 10 because that's what my company's instructions are. And we are red ahead. It's just stepped up to 1 yellow. So what we'll do... I tell you what, we'll stop in the platform at Greenhive. Red's at the end of the next platform. So we'll stop in the next platform and we'll go and have a quick look, because we're getting close to Dartford and there are just a couple more things that I do want to point out. So we do start going downhill a little bit here, so we don't want to get too much speed up. And indeed, we're going to shut the power back there. I don't think I've got my instrument lights turned on, have I? I'm not sure where the switch is for that. Never mind, never mind. Yeah, definitely don't have my instrument lights turned on. So we're going to stop at this station regardless of signal aspect, so we can jump outside and just have a little bit of a look at a couple of the things I've picked up on. And again, this is me being a rivet counter because it has no bearing on the game at all. We can get a little bit more into the station, probably be a good idea. Driving like Miss Daisy, I am the Richard Hammond... Sorry, wrong one. I am the James May of train drivers. You heard it here, folks. It's official. Okay, that'll do. So, let's jump outside and have a look at just a couple of things that I've picked up on this. That clag. The clag is lovely. I mean, maybe it's a little bit too much clag. Apologies, Greta. But it looks nice nonetheless. The lighting is just lovely on this thing. It looks really good. Okay, anyway. I've said enough nice things, so now I'm gonna say there's a couple of things that I've picked up on. And again, complete and utter rivet counter here. The coupling, as you can see. Dellner coupling to Dellner coupling. There is no what's known as a Schrader hose between the locomotive and the unit. A Schrader hose provides air pressure, because you still need air pressure for the brakes to work, between the locomotive and the unit. You'd have what's known as a Schrader hose. You would also have some form of electrical connection between the locomotive and the unit. So when I put the brakes on in the locomotive and I'm getting this little step 1, step 2, step 3 light coming on, there is no electrical supply between the locomotive and the unit, so that would not work in real life. The locomotive is not talking in game. Sorry, the locomotive is not talking to the unit. The coupling head that you can see there is purely to drag it. I tell a lie, there is an air supply within the coupling head there as well, but this is not supplying any control circuits or electrical circuits or anything like that. As you can see, the electrical box on the 375 there is just open, not connected to anything. So in reality, you would have electrical connections between it as well, so it can talk to itself. Also, all these pipes and hoses on the 37s would be stowed up on their points. They wouldn't just be hanging down. Quick note on the hoses while we're here. The red one there, that's your brake pipe that I was talking about. The yellow one is what's known as a main res pipe, and the white one is an air control circuit, but that's beyond the scope of this video. Just for point of interest there. So let's come to the back of the train. The back of the 375, I should say. We have got, very hard to see in that light, let's change the angle. We've got taillights on the back of the train, on the back of the unit. You also notice that the PIS is working, and the lights are turned on inside. So in reality, this unit would be dead. So it would be auxed off, it wouldn't have power. Now, whilst we're running on the third rail network, you can appreciate this is a third rail train, it is picking up from the shoes. However, if this is going to Derby or somewhere like that, or wherever else they take them to, and it's off the third rail network, this is not going to be getting an electrical supply in any way, shape or form. The only supply it will get is 110 volts through the control circuits from the locomotive. To operate the brake cylinders and stuff like that. So your PIS, your lighting and everything else isn't going to work. This unit is going to be dead in traffic. It's effectively going to be turned off. So it's not going to work at all. So what you would have in reality, you'd have a portable tail lamp, the same as what you see on the back of freight wagons. You're going to have one of those on the back there. This will be completely dead. You're going to have a portable tail lamp. Yeah. But again, that is me being a rivet counter, because it doesn't make any difference to the actual gameplay at all. So let's have... we've got a green there. I'm just really liking the way this looks and the way this sounds. So... Oh, it's starting to rain! Dynamic weather, go! It's graphically, it's beautiful. It does look lovely. So the other thing I want to pick up on, as I've just said to you, the locomotive has got no electrical supply to it. The locomotive is dead. Where's the windscreen wipers? There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut off power completely. I'm going to go into our outside view, and I'm going to get pretty close to the train. If I put my brakes on, listen to what happens. Let's let this networker go past first. That'll give you a headache. Yeah, let's pop our brakes on. Now, can you guys hear that? Yeah, if you can't, then what I'm pointing out there is that the regen brakes on the locomotive are still active. Let's find the right button to get back in the cab. Yeah, your regenerative that word, your regenerative dynamic regen braking on the unit is still working. If the unit was dead, it would be dead in tow, like I said earlier. You wouldn't have any regen brake on it. Does it affect the gameplay? Absolutely not. Am I being pedantic and a rivet counter? 100%. So, coming through Stone Crossing, next station is Greenhive. So, would I recommend this pack? Do you know what? It's a tenner to buy it. I think it's roughly £10. You get 10 services in a couple of scenarios. You get the white 375, you get this beautiful 37. I mean, yeah, she looks lovely. I'm sorry. It's like £1 per timetable service. In my opinion, yes, it is worth it. I know there'll be a lot of people out there saying, oh, you know, they've just re-liveried old locos and stuff and just added this and added that. I like this. I like the fact that you've now got, you know, additional traction. You can drive on the South-East at high speed. I like the additional layers. This is becoming a very immersive route as they put different layers onto it. And I'm sure some of you will have seen screenshots of this as well, with a kind of couple of sneaky little reveals in there. So there might even be more stuff coming out for this. I can't say too much. But yeah, so for me personally, I do think this is worth it. I think this is a really nice welcome addition. I think they've done a pretty good job on it. Two yellows. We'll get the train down into Dartford, and that will be the end of this video. And don't forget as well, like I say, guys, you do get the white 375. Just noticing that on the body there, the reflection of the windscreen wiper. We're going to see that on the outside as well there. You can't see it on the outside there, but it's nice. It's nice. Let's turn my cab lights off. One yellow, red is before Dartford. Let's drop a little bit of brake in. So I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Do let me know. I think, as always, guys, I've tried to be as honest as possible, whilst also being realistic in my expectations. And yeah, no, this is good. It's good, in my opinion. Do let me know your opinions in the comment section. I'd be really interested to hear those. Don't leave comments about my terrible driving, though. completely and utterly overcooking the braking on this. It's right. We're in Dartford. That's why it's raining. It's always raining in Dartford. It's grim in Dartford. A little bit more than 10 over the magnet there. That's naughty, naughty. Yeah, definitely need to get the hang of these brakes. It's a little bit challenging there. I think I might take a screenshot of that. That might be the thumbnail. Yeah, let's go for it. There we go. Red ahead. Nearly had a spad. Why did you have a spad, driver? I was taking screenshots. Yeah, that's not going to go down well. This is where I'm going to find out now that there's some sort of bug and the signal into Dartford doesn't clear. No, come on, don't do that to me. And we should be aiming to stop about a loco length away from the signal, so I'm probably a little bit close there. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a good loco length. There we go. Still on a red. Let's be cheeky and just check that the game hasn't broken on me. No, there's a networker sitting there. Are you about to go? You are the 8:35 to Charing Cross, so that will hopefully be departing soon. There's one coming out the sidings. good amount of traffic going on, which is always really nice to see. Yeah, so like I say, at the moment the 37 drag services work on the Southeastern High Speed route. There is also, I believe, a scenario with a 47 and a 37. So it's like the 37's failed, and they whack a 47 on front of the 37 and then a unit, which is also, I believe that's one of the scenarios that's available. But don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. So let's, whilst we're waiting, let's get out onto the track, which I do not recommend doing. Let's see if we can get into the unit. I'm guessing we probably can. Yeah, we can. Yeah, so you got your line light on there, for example. Are we able to AUX this off? Is that a thing? I don't know if AUXing off is supported or not. You need a key on to AUX off. No, it doesn't look like you can AUX off. Just hold it for 5 seconds. Oh, no, you can AUX off. Oh, okay. That would solve all of my problems. Key off. Okay, so that gives that makes for a much more realistic driving experience then, if that's AUXed off. However, it's still showing we've got the line light on. No, MCB ADD light, sorry. In reality, if you'd AUX this off, everything would be completely dead. You'd get no lights on it at all. Be interesting to see if it still works then and it still moves. I'm unable to close the door. There we go. So see if we've got tail lights on the back. I'm guessing we now don't have tail lights on the back. But this would be more stereotypically how it would work. Yeah, we don't have tail lights on the back now, so you would then place a portable tail lamp on the back. We've got the road in. No, I don't want to give up control. I want to finish the scenario successfully. There we go. Up into the 37. It's a long way up into the 37. So, hopefully this is still going to work. Release that. Let's give it a little bit of power. We shouldn't be giving it too much. Or we could just clag it. Go on. Whoa. Yeah, she's nice. And we'll shut off there. And what I just want to check now is when I put the brakes on, do we still have the regen brakes? I can't hear that. I can't hear regen brakes, but my speakers are turned down quite low. So I'll be interested to watch that in the replay to see if we've still got regen brakes. But again, you know, this is me being completely and utterly pedantic. It makes absolutely no difference to the driving experience at all. And yeah, I genuinely do really like this add-on. We'll get it into Dartford, guys, and then we will call it a day. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing. Check out the Train Drivers Rules videos. They will be coming out very soon. There's about 60, could even be 100, but there's going to be at least 60 of those. One coming out every week is the aim. So do click the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want to be kept updated with those. If you want to talk to other members of Railway staff and join a very friendly Railway community of enthusiasts and staff alike, then you can check out the Discord server. There's an invitation link to that in the description below. Or, if you want to, you can follow my adventures as a train driver on social media. And I promise I'm better at it in real life than I am on the game. There we go, guys. Excellent stuff. Fantastic. Thank you very, very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. And I will see you very soon. Press that button there. Cue the music. You can tell it's live because I've done it wrong. Thanks once again for watching, guys. And I shall see you in the next video.